All right, number 2, roll call, Ms. Carlos.
Mr. Eric Garcia.
Here.
Mr. Reyes Espinosa.
Here.
Mr. Cruz Mata.
Here.
Mr. Victor Bonilla III.
Present.
Mrs. Nora Flores Guerrero, running late, absent right now. Mrs. Melissa Marquez Guerrero. Here. And Mrs. Peggy Young.
Here.
For the record, we do have a quorum. All right, number 3, moment of reflection. All right, number 4, audience of patrons.
Mr. Frank.
Oh, okay. Did you need to be on this?
No, he just.
All right, number 5, consent action items. A, to consider to approve the minutes for the July 19, 2022 special board meeting, July 19th, regular, July 25th training, July 25th special, August 1st special. And of course, B, consider to approve the monthly bills for July 2022. Ms. Ronas?
The recommendation is that the Board of Trustees approve the consent action items as per the attached individual recommendations under consent action.
I'm gonna ask, that we take the minutes by themselves, because I wanna bring up some possible corrections. And,
Mr. Garcia,
Yes, sir.
also on the approval of the minutes, bring them by themselves,
I'm sorry?
individually.
That's what, yeah.
or take them individually, that's what I believe, or maybe I wasn't clear with the way I said it, sir. That's, I want to deal with the minutes.
All right, so I guess at this point, any motions to approve the minutes for July 19, 2022? Well, there's 2, special and meeting. That was the,
So move on that one.
I got a motion by Mr. Bonilla.
Second.
A second by Mr. Cruz Mata.
This for July 19th?
Yes. Any comments or questions? All in favor, please raise your hand.
I'm abstaining because I think I left at 6:30 on
Okay.
the meeting.
Yes, sir. Motion passes 501. Right now to consider the approve the minutes for July 25th training and the special board meeting.
A motion.
I got a motion by Mr. Espinosa,
Second.
second by Mr. Cruz Mata. Any comments or questions? All in favor, please raise your hand.
What?
We are trying to approve the minutes for July 25th. There's a special and a regular.
What are we doing, approving the minutes?
Yes. Okay. The motion passes 7-0. Okay. All right, and then we talk about the August 1st special board meeting.
The July 25th special,
Yeah, that was included for the regular and special. You want to go by,
but that's the one I was gonna, want to discuss. Because we have the July 25th training, and then we have the July 25th special.
correct.
And it's a special one that I wanted to bring up, that the open session, and the first one about consideration to approve the renaming of the football stadium. It was a switch, I'm sure just a little correction will be needed. The original motion was made by Mr. Espinosa. Okay, the motion I made was the alternate, so it needs to be switched. You see what I mean?
Which, on the 9th?
On the 25th,
Page?
page 18.
Yes, it's a motion by Victor Bonilla III, and an alternate motion by Mr. Espinosa.
It's the other way around.
Mr. Espinosa made the alternate to the
No, wasn't it the,
I made the motion to put David Lopez.
Stadium.
Stadium.
I think you made the motion.
alternate motion?
I made the first motion.
Yeah, so I made the alternate motion.
I made the motion to put it stadium, and then you made an alternate to put football field.
The word is correct, but it's,
Reverse.
okay,
So you made the alternative.
right. So that's gonna be corrected?
Yeah, we're going to correct that.
Okay.
We have to revote or just correct?
So we just correct.
It's just a correction.
Okay, we'll correct it. No, we're in agreement. Okay, and the one for, on the last one for August 1st, page 23, dealing with the action items A, the tiered salary increase.
Item,
It was 7A, it starts on page 22,
22, 7A.
the actual motions. The motion made by Mr. Mata doesn't include the section about stipends for the teachers. Okay, he did include that in his motion, but his was only specific to the teachers.
that's right.
And then I made the alternate motion to everybody,
Everybody.
right? So we just need to add the language in there, ma'am, on the section made by Mr. Mata.
I got you. Is that it?
Yep.
Okay, so,
So move to approve.
okay.
Corrections.
Motion by Mr. Bonilla to approve the August 1st special board meeting.
Bless you.
Salud, salud, salud.
Any seconds?
Second it.
Second by Mr. Ray Espinosa. Any comments or questions to approve the August 1st? All right, all in favor, please raise your hand. Motion passes 7-0. And B, consider to approve the monthly bills for July 22nd, 2022. July 2022.
A motion.
Got a motion by Ms. Nora Guerrero.
That's your recommendation.
Yes, sir.
You second it? You second it, sir?
I was saying if that was a recommendation.
Okay.
Second.
Second by Mr. Cruz Mata. Any comments or questions?
Did we second it?
Cruz.
Cruz did.
Oh,
Okay, I thought it was Ray.
Please raise your hand. Motion passes 7-0. All right, number 6A, Ms. Bruno.
The recommendation is that the Board of Trustees approve the calling for district-wide regular trustee election to be held on November 8th, 2022, and adopt election order and related matters for the purpose of electing a school trustee to each of the 3 positions for a term of 4 years.
I move. I'll second.
Got a motion by Ms. Nora Guerrero, second by Ms. Melissa Guerrero. Any comments or questions? All in favor, please raise your hand. Motion passes 7-0. All right, B.
The recommendation is that the Board of Trustees approve the employee health insurance benefits package for the 22-23 school year. We have Mr. Jost here that will address the board very briefly.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Did you give us a pen?
Yes, I did.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Joe Dobbs. I am your insurance broker. I represent you in these matters and have for the last 20-plus years. I'm an independent broker, so I don't work for Blue Cross, I don't work for Blue Pension, I work for you. I'm your agent. This is a culmination of about 60 days worth of work. We get this information fairly early from Blue Cross, and that's really when I go to work to try to see if we're getting a good deal on our renewal, and if not, I would be here recommending that we go up for bids. One of the biggest part of my jobs is to try to determine that. So I've kind of summarized everything on that first page. If you look at that first tab, it says a cost history. And I could come here and just show you 1 year. Hey, look how great we did. Our costs are down almost 8% this year from last year. But I don't like to do that. I like to give you a little bit of history so you've got an idea of how things have been going for the last 4 years. So if you look at the right-hand side of that, you'll see that we go all the way back to 2018-19, and our total costs were $3.1 million. Now that is the summary of our insurance premium, because we are basically self-insured, but we buy a couple of policies to protect us against a catastrophic situation. And we pay a premium for those policies. We pay Blue Cross to administer our self-insured program. I am able to negotiate rebates for our prescription drugs, which is one of the things that I'm able to utilize to try to get these costs down. And then we have what our actual costs are for medical prescription drugs and dental claims. So again, if you look back at 2018-19, our total cost was $3.1 million. The next year it went down to 2.9. 2020, we had a little bit of a hard year. We had some large claims. We went up to 3.3. And then this year, I'm annualizing 9 months worth of data, which is available to us during the renewal process. So it's not the firm numbers yet. Our firm numbers won't be known until we finish the year, which is through September. But if you annualize the data that we have so far, we are on track to be about 8% less than last year. What I like to look at is that 4-year stretch. If you go what we think this year is going to be at 3.1 million, back to where we were 4 years ago, we were at 3.1 million. So over a 4-year span, our costs are virtually flat, which is remarkable. The industry on an average increases about 8% per year, industry-wide. And I, again, being an independent broker, I represent every insurance company out there. It averages about 8%. So anytime you can be at 8% or lower, you're doing good. We're flat over a 4-year period. So we get into next year. I show you the original renewal that I got from Blue Cross. Went to town on them and threatened them a little bit and kind of strong-armed them a little bit. And I was able to get them to come off at about $63,000 reduction in their original renewal. And now if you look at that fixed cost total, we are looking at a cost of virtually flat again. Our fixed cost totals for this year is $804,000, and for next year we're coming in at $806,000. So virtually no change in our fixed costs. I'm using the estimated claims that came from Blue Cross, and they usually are trying to be very conservative with this. And they came in and said that they estimate our claims next year to be at 2.3 million. That's purely a guess based on our current history and ongoing claim situation. So if you take all that into consideration, we're looking at being flat again. We're looking at next year being at 3.1 million, about half of 1% increase next year if this goes as expected. So at the bottom, I kind of summarize again over the last 4-year period, our costs are about flat. I did go back and look at the last 7 years. So I went back even 3 more years further than what's on this page. And our average increase per year over the last 7 years is 1.5%. So it's playing very well, and it's worked out the program we've got with Blue Cross. So that's the numbers. Then I do this every year. I'm always looking at what other insurance companies are doing. I always look at different programs. Some of you board members may have been here 4 or 5 years ago. We were looking at the possibility of switching from Blue Cross now, because I'm always looking to see if there's other things out there. And I'm always evaluating what we have compared to what is offered by TRS on their active care program. So that second section is merely a comparison of what we offer versus TRS. And why I think that's important is because here in this community, one of the things that this program does for you is help to attract and retain good quality people. I can tell you over the years that I've been doing this, on numerous occasions, I have had teachers come up to me and say, the only reason I'm working here is for the benefits. Because they came from a district that utilizes TRS. So in these 3 pages, you can see, and I've even highlighted some of those areas where there is a stark difference between what we offer and what TRS offers. And let me tell you that when TRS first started their programs 15 years ago, we matched it. We matched TRS benefits. And now over that 10 to 15 year span, TRS slowly erodes their plan, and we haven't. So if you look at that high deductible plan, the deductibles are the same at $3,000, but if you're on TRS, after you satisfied your $3,000 deductible, the plan pays 70%. That means the employee has to continue to pay 30% until their out-of-pocket reaches $7,050. Our plan goes to 100% after that $3,000 deductible. So the difference in out-of-pocket for an individual is $7,000 versus $3,000. For a family is $14,000 for a family versus ours at $6,000. All of our plans automatically include full dental benefits. TRS does not. So that's highlighted down at the bottom on all these plans that we offer and include dental benefits. TRS does not. At the top of that page, I give you also the number of employees on that plan. So about 22% of our group are on that high deductible plan. This is 47 people. The middle plan is where most of our people are. We have 154 people on that middle plan. About 71% of the group. TRS offered last year, started this alternative plan. They're trying to kind of push their membership away from their regular mid plan to this alternative. And again, you can see huge discrepancies. If you look at the benefits for the prescription drugs, you have virtually no benefits for prescription drugs until you've satisfied their high deductible, either $1,200 or $2,500 in their deductibles. And then we've got just the regular health insurance deductible. We're still at $500, which is where TRS started. Their mid plan is, the old mid plan is at $1,200 deductible. The new one's at $2,500 deductible. We're at $500. Out of pocket again, we got a maximum out of pocket of $3,000. Their old mid plan is at $6,900. The new plan is $8,150, and no dental benefits. The last one is the high plan. We don't have very many people left on the high plan, and TRS doesn't even offer any new enrollment in their high plan. It's there, but the enrollment is frozen. And the same thing, we've got about 7% of our population, only 16 people on that plan, but our high plan deductible is $300. TRS is $1,000. Out of pocket, $1,500 versus almost $8,000. So I do this every year. I look at this to see what TRS is doing, how we compare, and they've just gotten so far away from where they started that I can tell you that you're offering a terrific package, and it helps you to attract and retain good quality people here.
I have a question, sir, on plan one,
Yes, sir.
is that free for the employee?
Pardon me?
Is that free for the employee?
Yes, that plan, we've maintained zero cost to the employees for that plan, that's right. And every year that we look at, tweaking the cost, what the employee contributions are, we've always left that one. We have at least one plan where employees don't have to pay anything, exactly.
But that's for an individual employee that doesn't.
That's right, that's just for the employee, they would have to pay something to cover their.
I have a question, Chair.
Yes,
The recent Inflation Reduction Act, is it gonna change any of the costs for their prescriptions?
well, it's pretty new, so we're still kind of trying to see what that does. But right now, they have targeted prescription drugs, but mainly for Medicare. So the government Medicare program is now allowed to negotiate costs for their prescription drugs, which surprises me that they haven't been able to do that in the past.
I thought it was for.
But I don't think that that's gonna have any impact on our cost for prescription. But I can tell you that, that's one of the things that I work on very hard, because prescription drug costs have gone up faster than anything else the last 10 years. And if you look back on that first page, you can see on the rebates, those rebates are part of what I negotiate. Blue Cross doesn't want to give us anything that they don't have to. And when they come up with an increase on their fixed costs that I think is too high, well, they have underwriters, and those underwriters have to maintain certain loss ratios in order to keep their job. So one of the ways that I can get more money out of them when they don't want to give me more money is get better rebates on the prescription. So you can see that back in 2018, we only got $73,000 worth of rebates on our prescription drugs. Next year, we are estimated to get over $220,000 of rebates. So every year, I try to get a little more for us. Again, those underwriters have to maintain a certain loss ratio, but this is a place where they can give us money without it impacting their loss ratios.
Another question, sir, what's the maximum for employee on the dental?
I happen to have a little summary, I can look at real quick. I can tell you. Maybe, let's see, $1,200. So that, the dental program, the way that works is we pay 100% for preventative care. So twice a year, you go in for a checkup and x-rays and a cleaning, free, costs you nothing. Then if you have any work done, you have to pay a $50 deductible, you pay the first $50. The plan pays 80% for basic services, 50% for major services, up to $1,200 a year per person. It's a good solid dental plan. Yes, sir.
Does it cover braces?
It doesn't cover braces, but it's our plan. I mean, this is something we have control over. Typically, if you cover braces, it only really impacts the cost on kids. And a lot of the plans won't even cover braces if you're over 18. They're only covering them for kids. But it does have a pretty significant impact on the cost for kids for the dental. So it's
What if they're under 18?
Yeah, I mean, well, we can cover, the first comment is we cover orthodontics if we want to. And that's something we could add. You tell me today you want to add orthodontics, I could get it done, find out what impact it would have.
It's ever been added in the past to the dental plans?
No, we have not, no. So it's one of those things that it does have a pretty significant impact on the cost to cover your kids for dental. And I can tell you that out of all my clients around the state of Texas, probably less than 25% of them cover orthodontics. Some do, most don't, and usually it's just a cost thing, versus the impact of how many people really use it if you if you offer it, a small percentage would actually use it, and everybody would have to pay for it. But we could do it. One of the beauties of having a self-funded insurance plan, even though we're administered by Blue Cross, it's still a self-funded plan. We can ask them to do anything we want, and add it to the plan. So there's a lot of flexibility with these plans that you don't normally get if you just were buying a fully insured plan from Blue Cross or Humana or some other carrier.
The downside of that is everybody would have to pay for it and not everybody would use it.
Right.
The price would go up.
Antonio, I have a question for you on all the teachers that are in under a waiver, they will qualify for the plan.
For full benefits, yes, sir.
Any other questions?
We're gonna get a spreadsheet of the cost of the employees.
I have one. So the reason I did not put this in the packet is because I don't.
You don't want to scare them?
This is last year's. So, when this is that time of year when the board needs to evaluate whether or not you want to increase the contributions to the employees or decrease benefits. And that brings up a quick point. If we had a bad year, we didn't. Our costs are down almost 8% from last year. But if our costs have gone up 15%, one of the things that I do is I go and scrub all these different reports that I can get and see if I can find out why. Were we getting hurt because too many people were using the emergency room for stuff that's not an emergency? Were we getting hurt because prescription drug costs were going through the roof? And I would come into you at that point and say, listen, we've had a bad year, and here's I've identified where we're getting hurt. Maybe we should change the benefits a little bit to try and push people into generic drugs or not utilizing the emergency room unless you have a true emergency. So I will do that and recommend at that point that maybe we should make some changes to the benefits. And then it's up to you whether or not you want to increase the cost, the contributions.
That's from last year, that's from the current year.
This is from this year.
Right.
Yeah, this is what we handed out to all of your employees a year ago. Because this is our renewal time, it's also the open enrollment period. So all employees have the ability at this time, for the 30 days prior to the 8/1 renewal, they have the ability to evaluate which of the plans that they've taken and whether or not they're covering their dependents. And they can make changes in their elections without having to have some kind of a qualifying event. You can only make a change once a year during open enrollment unless you have a qualifying event. And so we give this out to all the employees so they can kind of take a quick look. Maybe I want to change to a different insurance plan, reduce my cost. Maybe I want to, drop the coverage on my spouse and just cover the kids. And so all of this, there's a lot on this one page, but on this one page lets them know what their options are. So this is the current. And if you decided that you weren't going to make any changes to benefits or employee elections, then this would be this year's. But we would have to redo this for the open enrollment period if you decided to change the employee contributions.
What's our deadline for the employees?
Lorenzo, what's our deadline?
Yeah, he was here.
Yeah.
We'd like to approve it today if possible, and the reason for that is because the enrollment period is going to be beginning here very soon, and it allows the staff to really take a look at the plans and evaluate them to see which one they would like to apply for. The enrollment process does take a little bit of time, particularly when you have a spouse and you want to take a look. Well, do you want to carry my insurance or do I want to go on to your insurance? And a lot of really good conversation happens during this period.
And that starts September 1st. So for the month of September is the 30-day open enrollment period. The employees have that opportunity to make changes.
That is correct. Yeah, so it gives all staff members about 2 weeks to sit down with their spouses and/or their children and really take a look at in detail the plans that they would like to apply for this coming school year.
Are you,
All right, any other questions?
the recommendation is that the Board of Trustees approve the employee health insurance benefits package for the 22-23 school year as presented.
Motion.
Second.
A motion by Mr. Espinosa, second by Ms. Melissa. Any other comments, questions? All in favor, please raise your hand. Motion passes 7-0.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
All right, letter C.
The recommendation is that the Board of Trustees approve the premiums as submitted by the Lavernia Insurance Agency for the property casualty insurance coverage for September 1st, 2022 to September 1st, 2023 for an annual rate of $325,573. Sir, we have a brief presentation.
What's the name of the company again?
Lavernia Insurance Agency. They were carried.
As you can see, that is a substantial change. The industry is still not settled. We are the agency for the Texas Political Subdivision. Texas Political Subdivision is your carrier, the pool that provides this coverage and has provided the coverage for this district for plus 10 years. Are there any questions pertaining to the proposal?
Thank you. Much good.
6C.
What's your recommendation? Anybody have any questions?
No?
Reason though, why the premium went pretty high? Why the premium changed, why it's higher, is there a reason?
It's statewide due to storms throughout the whole state of Texas. The big freeze was a major factor in the state. The freeze was over $1 billion of claims, just that one item. The hailstorms have been terrific all over the state, and we're in a Texas pool, and pools are subject to that. I went out to market to 3 markets, Travelers, PCAT, which is another large pool, and TPS. They have been providing your coverages for a long time, but PCAT is one of the, I said it wrong, TPS is not the carrier, a Texas Political Subdivision is. They have been here for a long time and they're very established. They are the largest pool in the state of Texas for writing property insurance.
And do we have any claims outstanding right now? Property claims?
Do we have any outstanding claims, Florencio?
Not that I know of, ma'am.
There would only be 1 or 2, and it'd be automobile type claims that are very incidental. You know, we have them all the time, buses are moving.
I think we
But
have
that's
one.
normal. But there's nothing major outstanding, sir.
Yeah.
What's your recommendation, ma'am?
Recommendation is that the Board of Trustees approve the premiums as submitted by the Lavernia Insurance Agency.
Motion.
We have a motion by Mr. Ray Espinosa,
Second.
Mr. Cruz Mata. Any comments or questions? All in favor, please raise your hand. Passes 7-0. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
One more item that was just handed to you.
Yes.
Deductible option. We currently have a minimum deductible of 500,000 on wind and hail. In order to buy it down to 100,000, which we did last year, the premium last year was $55,085. The quote for this year's premium is $76,595. This is an optional thing for the district to buy. It just reduces the first instant of the claim. You could have a claim that's on a $10 million building, it could be a $800,000 claim. It brings that down to $100,000 deductible in lieu of a $500,000 deductible. So you can see you're gonna be saving $400,000 next time. That's the example I can give you. We have not had any property claims in the last 3 years here. We've had, the last was a hailstorm, probably 5-6 years ago. Doesn't matter. This does not affect fire. It doesn't affect anything. Only thing it affects is hail and wind. Those are the two perils that have been giving the state the most trouble.
And right now, the deductible is $500,000?
If you take the program, that's what we had last year. We bought it down last year, 55,000. This year, to buy it down to 100,000, it'd be $76,595.
Bring the deductible down.
Pardon?
To bring the deductible down.
Yes, ma'am, that is correct. I have districts that have done it and bought it down, and I have districts that did not buy it. I can tell you this. If we don't have a claim, it's a good idea, it would be great, but we don't know if we're gonna have the severe weather problem that we had in the past.
Not 50% or more.
Yes, it went up,
50%, I mean.
went up.
So this is optional, what did you say?
I think he's saying that this is optional. This is not included in the proposal,
That's
right?
not included.
Right, so it's
It's
So this, we have to come back on
It's
those.
information, we'll have to bring it back.
it's an extra 75,000.
Yeah, we'll have to bring this back if you all want to consider it,
Okay,
because it's not an action item.
thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
No problem. All right, Mike D.
The recommendation is that the Board of Trustees approve the awarding of RFP 2330 student insurance proposal to the brokerage store, Florencio. You all have this.
Good evening, Board President, members of the board, Superintendent. Before you, we have the 22-23 student athletic accident insurance coverage. This is a 2-year guaranteed rate. This will cover all students through the Texas uninsured and catastrophic insurance for our students. The good thing about this particular plan is that there is no increase. There is no increase in this insurance. Basically, what this insurance covers, it covers all students of the school or the school district while they are participating in gym classes and extracurricular school activities, including intramural and interclassic sports such as football, band, cheerleaders, majorettes, student coaches, student trainers, and student managers. This also includes supervised travel to and from such games and practice sessions. I think it's a very good coverage. Particularly, we've had the same broker for a number of years. And this is, again, a 2-year rate guarantee. And it is retroactive to August 1st of 2022.
What's the rate right now? I can't see. What's the rate?
The total would be $51,968.
And what was it last year? Do you have that information? How much?
One more time?
How much did we pay last year?
How much are we paying currently on it?
We're paying the same amount as we did last year.
There's no increase.
So there's no increase?
Sir,
Yes, sir.
what kind of insurance is this? Is this,
Catastrophic.
oh, I know, but is it supplemental or does it kick in right away? Let's say one of our students, God forbid, gets injured, the athlete's personal insurance will kick in first, and then this, or this kicks in from day one?
The student's insurance kicks in first, and then this one comes in next.
That's supplemental.
It is supplemental, yes, sir.
Just want him to say that.
Any other questions? And what's your recommendation?
The recommendation is that the Board of Trustees approve the awarding of RFP 2330 student insurance proposal for the 21-22 school year to the brokerage store. Is the name of the insurance carrier.
Motion.
I got a motion by Mr. Reyes-Pinoza,
I second.
second by Mr. Bonilla. Any other comments or questions? All in favor, please raise your hand. Motion passes 7-0.
Discussion and consideration to approve the final budget amendment for the 22-23 school year, Florencio.
Yes, ma'am. As we prepare for our external auditors, we need to make sure that our budget is up to date. So we are bringing before you our final amendments so that we can balance out our books. We have a total amendments of 410,000. These amendments will not be covered by fund balance. We have these amounts budgeted within this academic school year. The amendments are in Function 13, Curriculum Staff Development, in the amount of 30,000. School Leadership, Function 23, in the amount of 80,000. Extracurricular Athletic Activities, Function 36, in the amount of 140,000. Data and Technology, Function 53, in the amount of 85,000. And finally, General Administration, Function 41, for 75,000, a total of 410,000.
Mr. Capeta, where does the 410,000 come from?
It's a total of all the amendments.
No, I know that, but where did you move the money from?
They are in different areas in our current budget that we currently have over budgeted in our different functions.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
So the 8 million is what our actual budget is, less the reserve, which will give us 4 million, right? Or 3 million?
This will not come out of our fund balance. This will come directly from the budget that was approved at the beginning of the school year. So we don't have to go into fund balance to get this money.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Any other comments from Mr. Cepeda? And what's your recommendation?
The recommendation is that the Board of Trustees approve the final budget amendments for the 21-22 school year and allow for other changes and adjustments to close the fiscal year.
So move.
Second.
I got a motion by Mr. Bonilla, second by Mr. Mata. Any comments, questions? All in favor, please raise your hand. Motion passes 7-0.
Discussion and consideration to approve the MOU between CCISD and Juvenile Probation Office. So attached to, in your packet, you'll find a memorandum between CrystalCity ISD and the Juvenile Probation Office that will allow us to have one of their juvenile probation officers on campus. And this is supposed to be an officer at junior high and high school combined. The agreement is that we would pay for the $9,500 a year in their salary. It's one juvenile probation officer for 2 campuses.
For both campuses?
For 2 campuses, yes.
And they're gonna be under our chief of police or?
They remain under the juvenile probation office, but they will report to interim
Yeah,
chief.
because I remember, I mean, when I was at high school, I mean, had them, but they would not report to anybody.
Yeah.
And sometimes we couldn't find them, but as long as we have somebody that they can be held accountable to, and that if we approve it, I would recommend that maybe under police so that we know where they are at all times.
And along those lines, 'cause I'm in agreement with Mr. Espinosa, that a schedule be set up for that individual, so we'll know for sure on what days he's gonna be on the campuses, and to keep him to that
Was
schedule.
an issue also that
I think that we are gonna put in some financial assistance.
You can add that to the memo.
They'll be here every day? That one person will be here every day?
So I want the schedule.
Because sometimes they're at their office and then they come to
Well,
the
that's why we
school.
want
Sometimes,
the,
yeah.
that's why
Well, the salary will commit them to stay as scheduled.
They only basically, or?
Not necessarily,
No?
not necessarily.
So we'll be in this for 3 years,
That is the MOU, yes.
and will the 95 or whatever, will that change?
No, it should not.
Are they gonna have like a job description?
Yes, it's in the MOU.
We have it right now, right?
We do not have an MOU with the JPO.
Not right now?
No, we haven't had it for a few years already.
So we don't have a probation officer on campus?
No.
it's been about
Yeah, it's been a
7,
while.
8 years. It was because of that reason, I mean, that nobody was
Supervising the
supervising,
internal.
they would come, they would not come, and it was kind of hard. So I feel that if we have somebody who they can report to here, make up the schedule, they know, I mean, then we can keep track of them.
Under those conditions, I move.
I'll second.
Got a motion by Mr. Bonilla, second by Ms. Nora Guerrero.
I need to make a recommendation. The recommendation is that the Board of Trustees approve the MOU between CrystalCity ISD and the Zavala County Juvenile Probation Office as presented.
I'm sorry, ma'am, I thought you had already said it, that's why.
Go ahead.
I move.
Got a motion by Mr. Bonilla,
I'll second.
second by Ms. Nora Guerrero. Any other comments or questions? All in favor, please raise your hand. Motion passes 7-0. Letter G.
Discussion and consideration to accept donation of trees. This is a donation that has been coming before us already for a couple of months. The recommendation is that the Board of Trustees accept the donation of these said trees.
Who's giving them to us?
I don't have that information. They told me that it was an item Mr. Marquez requested.
I've requested, there are several community members that want to donate trees.
This is for to be planted around the school district.
Correct.
Yeah.
Different campuses?
Different campuses, Melissa, yeah.
Who's planning to?
As long as somebody waters them, porque
Who's gonna water?
We will have that discussion with Irene.
And I'm hoping that we have more than one individual wanting to make the donations. My only concern is that we have individuals going out there asking for donations under the name of the school district, that's not allowed, because we have to get permission for that.
Right, so donations, we have to accept. The board has to accept them. That's why we're bringing this.
We're not in that regard. That-
Soliciting, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
soliciting.
right, we can't solicit.
Right.
So this gives, which I appreciate, they were given just because the community members want to.
Yeah, none of us went asking for it, they just brought it themselves. Yeah. What's your recommendation, ma'am?
Recommendation is that the Board of Trustees accept the trees as donations.
I move.
Second.
A motion by Nora, second by Melissa. Any other comments or questions? All in favor, please raise your hand. Motion passes 7-0.
Discussion and consideration to approve resolution regarding extracurricular status of 4-H organization and adjunct faculty agreement. This is an ongoing, this is an annual renewal as well. So the recommendation is that the Board of Trustees approve the resolution regarding extracurricular status of Crystal City 4-H organization and approve the adjunct faculty agreement.
I move.
Second.
Got a motion by Nora, second by Mr. Mata.
Comment?
Comment, go ahead, sir.
We're ensuring that this individual, these kids that are participating in this, I think it's a good one. I never did agree with when we got rid of the whole thing out of the school district, which I think we should put it back in. We facilitate their ability to be excused on those days. Okay, all right, that's my main concern.
Agree, and they came back, we brought back 4-H last year.
Okay.
Any other comments? All right, all in favor, please raise your hand. Motion passes 7-0.
Discussion and consideration to adopt and rescind policy statements according to the instruction sheet for the TASB localized update 119 affecting local policies on second and final reading. The recommendation is that the Board of Trustees add, revise, or delete local policies as recommended by TASB Policy Service and according to the instruction sheet for TASB localized manual update 119 affecting local policies on second and final reading.
This is the final reading, right?
This is.
Yes.
So move.
Got a motion by Mr. Bonilla,
I'll second.
second by Ms. Guerrero, Nona. Any other comments or questions? All in favor, please raise your hand. Motion passes 7-0.
Next item on the agenda, discussion and consideration to adopt and rescind, discussion and consideration to approve the contract between CrystalCity ISD and Yvonne Cisneros, speech language pathologist for the 22-23 school year.
This is 7 days per month, according.
Mrs. Sendejo?
It is with great pleasure that I come before the board to inform you that we have a local staff member that is interested in let me rephrase that, has been accepted into the speech language pathology program out of TWU. Ms. Nora, you want to join us? The speech language pathology program is a very difficult program. It's difficult to get in, and so it's an honor to have Nora in it. It is a very tedious, time-consuming program, and they are very specific. She just completed her year 1 towards her master's, and so it requires that a licensed speech pathologist has to sign off on her work and review the work that she's doing before she submits to the university. They're so specific that on year 2 that she's getting ready to start next week, it has to be a different licensed speech pathology. It cannot be the same one. And they're so specific that it can't be with the same students that she has already been observed. So we had to make some adjustments and move, because we want to see her with all the competencies. And so because of that, we find another SLP to be able, she'll be able to test, she'll be able to write the reports, but it has to be a licensed speech pathologist to review her work and sign off, and she will be able to report to the art. How am I doing? Yes, sir. Did I lift up? No. And so that is why I bring, we have looked around the areas to see if I can find an SOP to be able to provide her the supervision, and I have not been able to find one, but.
There's not
one. So.
Or in the 7 days, it's enough time.
Yes. And they're very specific. She has to, supervise her with indirect contact hours and direct, and, her, of course, the work that she does. And, but she would only be supervised. I want to make that very clear, that it would only be to supervise Nora, not to do the rest of the evaluations and assessments. But this is just for her, in order for her to continue in her program. And so when she started the program, we did agree as a district that we would sponsor her. So, and she's awesome, I'm telling you. She's a gem.
Homegrown.
Yeah.
You're gonna stay here in Crystal?
Yes, I have my children here in the district, and that's kind of the point. We haven't had a speech language pathologist in a long time. In the district in quite some time. So, I mean, I have going to be first grader and pre-K 4, so I'm gonna be here for a while.
For a long time.
Yes, sir.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Thank you, Ms. Sendejo. The recommendation is that the Board of Trustees approve the speech language pathologist contract between CrystalCity ISD and Yvonne Cisneros for speech therapy for the 22-23 school year as presented.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Espinosa, second by Ms. Guerrero Nora. Any other comments or questions? All in favor, please raise your hand. Motion passes 7-0.
Discussion and consideration to approve the purchase of additional radio equipment for the school district. Mr. Rios?
Talking about the radio? Okay, we are in need of radios, and dialogue radios, so that we can hear what's going on at the school, and we can hear what's going on out at the county or the city. So, with that, I mean, I'm not too sure exactly what they proposed or what it entails as far as radios, but we do need radios. It is necessary for us to get the radios and for everybody to have radios so we can communicate better.
So because we came forward and asked you for the 3 additional police officer positions, including the night watchman, and then Mr. Guajardo and the cabinet went through a list of other personnel that would need additional radios. We had come before you and asked for 15 radios, and we're coming before you to make sure that the police department and campuses have sufficient communication devices. We are asking for a total of 18 additional radios. And you have the quote presented to you. We bring it to you because it does exceed our purchasing authority. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
And this will cover all officers?
This should cover, we should have enough with these last 18. And the vendor is ready to go.
What's the time frame of getting that here?
Jesse, what would be the time frame?
Should be here by next week.
Ready to go. We just need to get approved. The recommendation is that the Board of Trustees approve the purchase of additional radio equipment for the school district from Radcom Enterprises for the purchase price of $28,620.
I move.
Second. I got a motion by Ms. Nora Guerrero. Second by Mr. Mata.
I have a question.
Go ahead, sir.
This radios that we're buying are from the same company that we purchased the others?
Yes, sir. Same vendor.
Any other comments, questions? All in favor, please raise your hand. Motion passes 7-0.
Next item on the agenda, discussion action to approve adding a custodian position to maintenance department. And attached to that, you'll see Ms. Melendez's request.
Just add a few. I'm sorry, did we just add a few? Sorry.
We added a ninth one last.
Where would this custodian be placed?
Mrs. Garcia?
We needed someone to cover the gyms, especially the high school gym, and all of the surrounding areas at the high school.
We don't have somebody assigned to that area right now?
She has stated over the past 2 to 3 years that she's needed assistance there. Because the personnel that she has there is not enough to cover all of high school.
And if I'm not mistaken, the need is great enough that we're now having to make these employees TRS eligible. And rather than have just part-time or substitutes doing this, we'd rather have a full-time employee.
Does this include the field house and the band hall?
Yes. You would have coverage in all areas.
So at the high school, we would have 3 custodians, 1 outside and then 2 inside? Or, normally, from my understanding is, we usually have 2 custodians for every campus, 1 inside that cleans the rooms and the hallways and the cafeterias, whatever. And then you have 1 outside that handles the trees and the grass.
So Mr. Cepeda and I are meeting with Irene to make sure that we have the right people where we need them. So we're looking at organizing some of that staff.
I had heard que también the campus is so much, I mean,
Yes.
it's bigger. It's a new school, and 2 people wasn't enough. That's what I heard.
The
Recommendation.
recommendation is that the Board of Trustees approve adding a custodian position to maintenance department.
I'll move.
I'll second.
We got a motion by Ms. Melissa. Second by Ms. Nora Guerrero. Any other comments or questions? All in favor, please raise your hand. Motion passes 7-0. All right, number 7, informational items, A, accountability rating, 21-22 school year, Ms. Lewis.
So first and foremost, I would like the board to recognize our incredible leadership team that was able to assist the district in getting its overall B rating, which we haven't had in quite a while. Last year, if we had received a rating, the district would have been an F. And to have gone from an F to a B is an incredible undertaking, speaks to the leadership that we have across the district. So our congratulations to all of the instructional leadership team, and we asked them to be present today so that they could be recognized. And so we are planning a celebration, we just haven't agreed to the final terms.
Make sure that the celebration extends to all the other employees.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Put in the board.
Including the board. So the district overall, the district rating is a B. And so we're not going to go through all the indicators unless you all have a very specific question about it. I know that today we started conversations with the instructional team about special programs. That's a conversation that will continue to be ongoing. Crystal City High School's overall rating is a C. They were short 1 point to be considered a B. So we'll keep working on it. Good job, high school. Junior high, their overall performance as well was also a 79. They were 1 point short of a B rating. Good job, junior high. Say that again. Oh, and they got a distinction. Thank you, Matthew. They have a distinction in comparative academic growth. They did an exceptional job at growing those scores, which is what we were anticipating to see after the COVID loss. So the campus is doing a good job with academic growth. Moving on to Benito Juarez. Benito Juarez scored an overall B. That's right. Measure. in the grade levels. And then we have.
And distinction in science.
Distinction in science. And so what we've notified the principals is that we will be recognizing all those departments that have that distinction, because it's very difficult to compete against your comparative group. And for us to score within the first 5 campuses is a great accomplishment. So we're going to continue working towards being at the top. That is our goal. Our goal is an A for this accountability year 22-23. And we know that we have the potential to do it. And then moving on to Zavala Elementary. Zavala Elementary, these scores are a little bit there's some misconception here. Zavala Elementary received a non-rated. However, Zavala Elementary in student achievement was the highest performing campus. And that information is not here. We have not seen third grade scores in reading and math be as high as they were. And so. Mata Lopez, this is just going to take time. This is just putting some things into practice and tweaking things here and there. But we have every assurance that they will be up there with the other campuses as they are with the district already. They are the foundation. We see our foundation becoming stronger, and we know that we have nowhere to go but up. So we're really looking forward to 22-23. So congratulations to the academic team. I could not be more prouder. I know that I'm a hard driver when it comes to data, but this is what we can do. If we can do this in 1 year, I can just imagine where we'll be in 22-23.
I have one question.
Yes, sir.
Do you think that that moving the campus administrators, it's gonna affect this?
I do not.
Like we have the Benito Juarez principal school B now going to Tomás Rivera, and people moving around. You feel that wherever they go, they will continue?
Yes, sir. If a campus leader can score a B at one campus, the skills don't change. The leadership skills don't change when you move from campus to campus. The standards change. The teachers are responsible for the standards, but the leadership is provided by the campuses. So I don't foresee that the campus is going to suffer because the campus administrators were moved around.
That was just my concern, that maybe we move them a little bit too early and it can have a little effect. But I agree with what you're saying. If you're in campus administration, you can pick it up.
Yes,
wherever you go.
I have a comment to that, También. In order to create change, you have to be innovative.
That's right.
Reformation. It might be a pain in the butt, but when you start creating that reformation and that innovation, we're all lifelong learners. So, I think even though it was hard to see that, but I feel that this change is going to make a big difference, a real big difference, because now we're thinking outside the box. Okay, I see these leadership qualities in a certain leader. Well, if I put them over here, they'll thrive. If I change it over here, they're going to thrive. So I feel that it's going to make a real impact. And I hope, even though it was a pain, I hope you guys realize what's going on. I really do realize what's going on. They're putting you in a place where you are going to grow big time. So that's my little piece.
I just want to congratulate each and every one of you guys, obviously, and ladies. I think you guys went through a lot of obstacles throughout the year, distractions throughout the year, distractions and obstacles that shouldn't be in the way, but they were there. You guys overcame a lot of stuff like that, and I commend all of you for that. Regardless, you kept your head up high. And I want to be honest with you guys. I want to raise some hands who thought this was going to be possible to be. Yes. Good. And again, once again, congratulations to each and every one of you.
Thank you.
Especially the ICs.
Thank you.
So Ms. Briones.
I don't know who's over there. Can they each stand up and say their name?
It's all the campus leaders, starting with Matthew. Introduce yourself, Matthew.
Matthew Moreno, the data fellow.
I'm Robin Jones, the IC at the junior high.
Marisela Guzman, high school IC.
Jaime Mata Lopez, Odisi.
María Permea. Benito Juarez and DTR this year.
Dali Robasso High School and Benito Juarez this year. Principal, forgot to say that. Andy Guerrero, principal, formerly DTR, currently serving H block.
Mr. Alvarado, formerly FJH, Team Mustang, and now Crystal City High School, Avelina. But I want to do, I know, guys, I know we kind of take the credit as being the leader and everything, but the ICs do the bulk of the work. I mean, they really do. I know that Miss Briones drives them hard, and she's not lying about that. And they respond, they bring out the information. But when it comes to data and everything, it's big time. And you can see the benefit of having one at each campus.
That's great.
Oli Garza. Special coach Benito.
Julio Garza, swimming coach.
Not all our kids to swim.
Veronica R. McNeil, Dr. Cabot Elementary. I want to congratulate all the teachers. They're the ones that put in double the work in the IC. So congratulations to all.
That's true.
CCISD.
I agree, yeah.
Thank you.
Guadalupe Tapia, Lorenzo Zavala Elementary IC, and the same teachers. It's really the unity of each campus that has made us grow. Everybody believing in themselves and helping each other out. And thank you for everybody helping us out.
Thank you.
And I just want to add real quick, I know we thank the teachers, we also got to thank the students. The students were the ones that were there doing all the work. They're the ones that took the tests and they excelled.
And our IA students, their teachers also in the classroom. All over.
Eric, I just want to mention one last thing. It had been a long time that we didn't see a B in CCISD, so of course I want to congratulate all of you for your hard work, determination, and like I've said it before, you are the heart and soul of our district, and I appreciate all of you. Also, I want to congratulate Ms. Gutierrez. You know, you've been here a very short time, and you have really, turned things around in very little time, so congratulations as well. And to my colleagues for keeping student achievement at, the top of our goals as well.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody.
Ms. Briones, you did say that starting this year, TR is not paired with Zavala.
They continue to be paired, yes.
They are?
Yes.
So they're under the same, they have to do all the things any other IR campus.
Any other comments or questions? All right, item B, Superintendent revocation of athletic booster club pursuant to board policy.
So I'm gonna, Eric, if you will pass these up your way. Mr. Espinosa, if you will pass it out that way. This is a formal memo, thank you, Mr. Fernandez, that I forwarded to the booster presidents back on, thank you.
Oh, no.
I believe originally it went out August 1st. Correct, Pita? Yes, because she got it. And so what I had asked of the booster presidents was for them to give me all of the financials that are required at the end of every fiscal year. Band booster complied. I have all of their documentation. The athletic booster did not. I did get a phone call from the athletic booster treasurer on Friday. We did return the call. There was no response back. And so at this point, we have absolutely no other avenue other than to disband the existing athletic booster organization and start a new. Coach Battle will be responsible for that. He will oversee the reorganization of the athletic booster, make sure that it is in compliance. We did adopt club guidelines that we brought before you all, March of 2022. Those copies were presented to the boosters. I have a signed receipt hand-delivered of the athletic booster president's signature that he received the packet that we did send out. We gave him an extension of a week, which was last week. We still did not receive any information. And so at this point, we are disbanding the existing athletic booster, and we are planning on beginning. So all of those advertisements will be sent out as quickly as possible so that we can have an athletic booster, an active athletic booster that adheres to the guidelines that we adopted back in March of 2022.
And by when do you think Coach Battle will assemble it's a lot of parents, I mean, that were interested in it.
He and I are meeting as early as tomorrow morning.
Tomorrow morning.
To get it going. Yeah, he already has a lot of parents that have reached out to
Interested
him.
in participating or putting it together, the athletic.
Ma'am, I don't know, I think I've mentioned it before several times in the times I've been here. And I picked up, aside from my own research, I picked up a lot of this information at that very first SLI that I went to. And the fact I had a couple of trainings on booster clubs. And one of the first things that impressed upon me was that there's two kinds of booster clubs. Ones that are independent, that come from the community, and we have a working agreement with them. Okay, and then you have ones that are generated by the school district. Okay, if we're going the route of where we're generating the booster club, it's my understanding, I still see the notes that I took, they fall under the auspices of the high school principal.
Correct.
Okay, so Mr. Alvarado will also be involved with the creation of that booster club.
Yes, sir.
Like all booster clubs, both, if they're generated by the district,
Correct.
fall under the auspices of the principal. I just want to make sure.
Yeah, the boosters all have to report to the principal.
I'm assuming they have keys that locks are gonna have to get
We
changed?
will be asking them for all of that tomorrow.
All right, moving on to C.
The next on the agenda, you have a memorandum of understanding that we are going to present to both the Sheriff's Department and the CCPD. And this is so that we can continue our safe and secure practices. And so we have to bring it for informational purposes. And then Interim Chief Rios will then present it to the Chief of Police, CCPD, and the Sheriff's Department, then to County Judge. They then have to take this memo of understanding, present it at their next meeting for approval as well. And once we have everybody's signature, we're good to go.
Savannah County then?
So I mean, if you all have any other questions on county appraisal district reports, business office report, food service reports, police department reports, booster financials, and/or legal fees.
I have a question on not so much the police department report, but with the 3 people we're adding, how are we looking at vehicles? What's the?
So we had to, if you all recall, the 2 vehicles that the board approved back in December of 21-22, I believe. So that was, the company did not deliver on their agreement. And so because we have to close out outstanding POs, Mr. Cepeda canceled that outstanding PO. So what we're doing now is Mr. Cepeda is going to reach out to Caldwell, and we are requesting, we're going to request a quote now for 5 vehicles. The 2 for the existing, the 3 for the new, if they get approved, and if we need to purchase a 6th, then we'll move on a 6th. So we're starting that process all over again, yes.
Board members, may I?
Go ahead, sir.
As you all know, the security audit is due the first week in September to the governor's office and to the Commissioner of Education. One of the things that our legislators, our governor and the Commissioner of Education are going to be doing is they're going to be analyzing all of the data that is being submitted by all the districts and open enrollment charter schools on the needs that school districts and the open enrollment charter schools need. They are thinking and discussing about the rainy day fund that the state of Texas currently has. It is the highest rainy day fund balance that has ever existed. So they're thinking about creating either grants so that we can cover all of those expenditures in the surveys that are being submitted to them. So now we won't see a result on the amount of those grants until the latter part of September, early part of October. We will be keeping an eye open for those particular grants so that we can expend those funds as soon as possible. One of the things that I would like to do is, as we begin purchasing security equipment, Ms. Briones and I have been talking about creating a sub-object code for those particular expenditures so that if those grants allow us for reimbursement prior to the day that the grants are awarded, we can draw down those funds for reimbursement.
Thank you, Florencio.
Yes, ma'am.
If I may, it sounds good, it really does, but I believe that the state has already provided, at least if I read it right, because I've seen several articles on it, that our neighbor to the north got a little over $1 million for security purposes, and it was given. So I'm hoping that our great state will give every school district in the state that 1 million, because we're all the same no matter what.
And it's like Florencio said, we have these next couple of days to submit all of our information. Mr. Fernandez and his team have put all that information together. We just need to input it. Once all the districts input, the state will decide if there's an appropriation, what the appropriation is going to be. If we have to go through grants, then the application process. But of course, always priority, don't wait on your purchases, make your purchases. And if there's a reimbursement process, the state will take that.
That includes all our expenses dealing with
Yes, sir.
security fences, police department, the radio equipment, all that stuff.
If the needs are similar across the state, I'm sure that the state will cover all of those needs.
Okay.
All right, any other questions on any of the informational items?
Aye. MOU between the.
Yep.
Yes.
All right, at this point, we go into number 8, closed session. CrystalCity Board of Trustees will meet in closed session as authorized under the Texas Government Code, sections